Good point. It's not the worst thing in the world if younger people are eating avocados, man.
Zahn's just got incredibly fit, lost a bunch of weight, and has become a kind of tedious evangelist. I'm sitting right here.
A thorough examination with Doctors Chris and Zahn continues on Tuesday afternoons at 3:30 on Radio 4 and BBC Sounds.
BBC News at midday. The Housing Secretary Michael Gove has confirmed landlords evicting tenants for no reason will be outlawed in England before the next general election. Legislation to tighten the rules is currently going through Parliament. The bill would limit no-fault evictions to specific instances, such as when a landlord sells a property. Mr Gove told Sunday with Laura Koonsberg there would be extra money to help the courts enforce the new rules.
It is the case that there are a small minority of unscrupulous landlords who use the threat of eviction either to jack up rents or to silence people who are complaining about the quality of their homes. It's important that we deal with that abuse because the vast majority of landlords do a great job.
Hamas Media is reporting the militant group's leadership has threatened to blow up hostage exchange negotiations with Israel if there's an attack on the southern city of Rafah. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is planning a major offensive in the area and has asked his military to develop detailed plans to evacuate civilians. The head of the UN's Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs in Gaza, Georgios Petropoulos, is in Rafah. He says it's so densely populated that it's difficult to ensure everyone's safety.
It's completely overcrowded with the population about 4 or 5 times. This density makes it kind of impossible to ensure who's really safe from the reaction. Airstrikes, you can imagine what that would do to basically sites of just targeting, sheltering.
Pakistan's election commission has declared the final results of Thursday's parliamentary election. 101 independent candidates won seats, more than 90 of them are allied to Imran Khan's PTI party. The Muslim League, led by his political rival Nawaz Sharif, took 75 seats, with the Pakistan People's Party winning 54. Questions remain about who will form the next government. Analysis by BBC News shows the UK arm of the technology company Fujitsu paid bosses more than £1 million a year on average while overseeing the contract that led to the Post Office Horizon scandal. Fujitsu has already apologised and said it would contribute to compensation. Alan Bates is the former sub-postmaster who led the campaign for justice in the Horizon scandal. He told the Broadcasting House here on Radio 4 the remuneration of Fujitsu executives should be a matter of concern for the public inquiry.
These are the questions that Sir Win will be asking in the inquiry. But, I mean, there's been question marks about the whole of the system right from the outset, from when it first came in. And I do wonder why, what were the reasons government went ahead with it in the early days when they knew it was so iffy?
The Body Shop is set to appoint administrators this week in a move likely to result in store closures and job losses across the UK. The company was recently bought by the private equity firm Aurelius, which is expected to significantly restructure the business. The actor Andrew Scott, who became widely known for his role in the TV show Fleabag, has warned high ticket costs is stopping young people from experiencing the theatre. Last year, the average top-price West End ticket was £141. Mr. Scott says shows shouldn't be limited to just the wealthy.
No matter how, zeitgeisty or how modern you think your play is, if you're having to spend 150 quid on a person between 25 or beyond, it's going to be able to afford that. It's frustrating to me. It's important that it doesn't remain an elitist art form.
Crowds of well-wishers greeted the King as he attended church at Sandringham in Norfolk this morning. He's put official public duties on hold while he receives treatment for cancer. Last night he made his first public comment on his condition, thanking the public for the support he received. BBC News.
This is BBC Radio 4. Now, here's Sue Perkins.
Welcome to Just a Minute. Hello there, Sue Perkins here, and as the minute horse fades away, what an absolute
it is to welcome you again to Just a Minute. Now let me introduce you to the four marvellous, talented human beings who are playing Just a Minute alongside me this week. They are Paul Manson, Lucy Porter, Ishan Akbar and Angela Barnes. Please whoop and cheer for them. In time-honoured fashion, I'm going to ask them to speak on a given subject for 60 seconds without hesitating, repeating or deviating. So let's see how it goes. Now, Lucy, we're going to start with you. Your subject is the drama of it all, from the jaws of death. Can you speak for 60 seconds without hesitating, repeating or deviating on from the jaws of death? Starting
from the jaws of death is something that doesn't bother me. I laugh in the face of danger. I have trekked in the Amazon. I've done comedy in Swindon. I've slept next to my husband when he's been eating pickled eggs. I do not worry about the jaws of death, but I take you back. The year is 1991. I am a young student in Manchester. I'm invited to a party at an all-boys hall of residence. My friend Debbie and I went. We expected an evening of quiet prayer and Bible study. But when we arrived, our horror, there was alcohol, music and canoodling. We decided to leave immediately, and about 5.5 hours later, we found ourselves at the gate, but it was locked, and
it never fails to excite me, that. Makes me really happy. Well done, Lucy.
The story was, we climbed over the fence and I was about to fall to my death, but my knickers got caught on a spike.
See, that's the Tower of London attraction that really would bring the visitors. That was extraordinary because you spoke for the full minute, you get the points. Speaking as the whistle went, you get a point. So 2 points in total. What a great start. Well done you. Now, Isha, perhaps you can answer this one for me. Your subject, the last thing I lost. 60 seconds, please, starting now.
The last thing I lost was a portable charger for my hearing aids. I'm a hearing impaired person, and I wear some support. Auditory hearing.
Angela.
There were 3 hearings.
That's a correct challenge. You have got 48 seconds to tell us the last thing you lost. Angela, starting now.
I lose things regularly. The last thing I lost was my shoe on the way to work. I stepped on the train at London Bridge and said footwear item slipped off my foot and under the train.
Just say that elongating a vowel in the middle of the word doesn't change the words. Ishan, you buzzed.
A repetition of train.
It was a ghost train. That's a challenge. Well done. So, you get it back. The last thing I lost. Starting now.
This portable hearing aid charger looks...
Paul.
Well, we had hearing before.
And portable.
Yeah. Charger.
Yeah. Ishan, you're a new player of the game, so unfortunately you can't repeat anything you've said in a previous attempt at the subject.
What is this?
What is happening? Were you aware of that rule?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what? That's really, really honest of you. You get a point for that, because it's something that's really lacking in the entertainment industry. As part of restoring faith, I think it's really important to reward that. But it's a correct challenge from Paul. So, Paul, you get the subject, which, to remind you, is the last thing you lost. 31 seconds, starting now.
I was wandering around Cairo. The back streets can be ominous and gloomy at that time of night. My dear friend Nicholas Parsons was accompanying me on a sponsored tandem ride across the desert. We searched for our passports. We realised they weren't where we'd left them. I turned to him and I said, what are we going to do? We no longer have a passport between us. We're going to have to...
And Ishan, you bust.
Repetition of passport?
Passports and passports.
There was a singular and a plural, my friend. Yes. Passport. Yeah.
Can I play the deaf card on this one? Or
in this particular instance, harsh as I am, I've got to say it stays with all. He's very fiendish. He's been playing the game a long time. So he's very wily. He's a wily beast. 11 seconds, Paul. You get the subject. And your time starts now.
I'm sure I've lost other